It's the year 2019. I just got my first passport. I've never left my hometown ever in my entire life. I start hearing from certain people that I know. I just got back from Japan. It's amazing. And I was thinking to myself, I thought I want to go to fucking Japan too. So I was like, alright, I'm gonna get my passport. I got my passport. I had this thing. I go to the airport. I get on a 15-hour flight to fucking Tokyo, Japan. They scan your fingerprint to make sure that you don't get fucky and start committing crimes. There was a cute Japanese girl behind the customs office. She took my papers, didn't say a damn word. And she had a mask on. Everyone is 5'4", tiny. I feel like I could step on them and they would just die. I grab my luggage and I go to the second customs office and he goes through my entire bag. Specifically me. And then finally, I get to the train station. It looks just like anime. I'm amazed. There's a train right there. It's coming, and there's Japanese people in vending machines with moon runes on them. I can't read shit. I'm fucking loving it, man. I can't understand anything. I hop on the train, and as no foreigner does, nobody uses the goddamn train. So it's a black man and a white guy and a bunch of Japanese people. After years of walking on the Japanese grounds, looks just like anime, by the way. This shit is literally anime. We get to our hotel and I'm dying. My luggage is stuck and I couldn't get it to work, so therefore I had to slouch over like this just to bring my luggage with me miles of walking. I go upstairs ready to take a shit in my hotel. I grab some toiletries before I go into my room as they're outside of the room. I go inside and my toilet has buttons on it. I'm looking at it like, what the fuck is that? It pulls out a katana, stabs me in the asshole, says its name's Genji, and I say, Wagateki Wokurao, and that finally unlocked the lid so I could finally shit. I had to win a game of Sudoku against this toilet before it would let me piss. I could shit, but I could not piss until I committed Sudoku. I walk out of the room. The bed is big enough for 2 people to sleep in, so the impending gay time is coming towards us quickly. There is a small TV in the corner of the room. I turn it on and immediately I'm caught off guard by the adult button. And I'm like, wow, what could be in there? And you click it and it's just tentacles on tentacles on tentacles. Days pass by. I go to a maid cafe and I'm so goddamn convinced that these girls hate their job. I'm not enjoying it at all. The food sucked, but my friend's sitting there giggling like a fucking schoolgirl. At least he's enjoying it. They do this thing where every first-time customer goes up in front of the entire fucking cafe, tens of people, and takes a picture with the maid. I go up as it's my turn, and I immediately fall over flat in front of all these Japanese people, and everyone bursts out into laughter. I go up, and I tough it through, and I take that picture, and I walk back to my plate. My friend assures me it's Japanese culture to laugh at people when they do something embarrassing. They're not laughing for real. Okay, well, my friend also let me know while I was falling over, it took me a straight 5 to 10 seconds to stumble over until I eventually just... When they bring you your drinks, they make you do a little dance with your fingers. Something like, cute, cute, cute. I thought I was fucking role-playing Pikachu for a little bit there. I walk through the Akihabara. The wind is nice. It's nice and cool, just how I like it. The people are walking. The squares are beautiful. There's lines everywhere. There's TVs everywhere. In the middle of the street, there's a TV with a massive anime girl. And she's screaming out, "What?" I'm loving it. I walk into a sex shop at some point, and there's VR goggles everywhere. Before, in America, I couldn't find VR unless you were looking for the Vive or the Oculus. But over there, they have literal off-brand VR headsets. You put your phone in it, and then you can start fucking any Japanese girl you want. There's Japanese porn playing full volume in random rooms. Costumes with men looking at them. Every building is a tower, so people, when you want to go into a shop, you have to go up many, many stairs just to see every single floor. Sometimes they have an elevator. Usually they do. Every single floor. After sex shop after sex shop, my feet have been hurting like a motherfucker, and I could not bear to walk much after that. Go back to my hotel room, soak my feet in the bathtub, and then I hear a knock on the door. It's a tiny Japanese girl, and I'm showering, and I'm in the washroom, so I'm trying to tell her to go away, but she does not speak English, so I need to politely go to the door, open it, and when I open that door, her being a 5-foot tiny Japanese girl who's never seen anything the color brown in her entire life, she recoils, and she goes, "Burakumano!" And then me, being the person, the tourist that would study Japanese before you come to Japan, I say to her, Daijoubu desu. And then she says, oh, Daijoubu desu. And she walks away all scared and fucking... She looks like she saw a goddamn monster. Walking around the Akihabara, you find different shops. In the Akihabara, they have these women who just stand on street corners. Literally every single few steps, there's another girl handing out papers. And they come up to you and they hassle you and they tell you, come to my man cafe. And they are vicious. I even saw one start crying on the street, assumedly overworking, and some guy comes up to her and starts to console her. I was like, holy shit, these girls are slaves. We go into the shop with airsoft guns with no orange tip. I decide, fuck it. This revolver is only $30. I get it, I go back to my hotel room, and I start shooting it at the walls. And I put a couple holes in the wall, but who the fuck would notice? You know, because go to a few parks, many shrines, things are beautiful, the people are nice. Eventually I get to some park and I start laying down in the grass, and honestly it was the best time of my life, just laying in that beautiful Japanese grass and just relaxing. After that I get lost in an entire huge park, massive park, and I get lost in there for literally 4 hours just walking in circles, and because I could not talk to anybody, I could not get the fuck out. So I was stuck. I start looking on Google Translate to figure out how can I ask somebody the way out of this entire fucking forest of a park. And of course, my mobile data is not working. Finally, I find my way out, and I go to the nearest electronics store, those big stores, the equivalent of Best Buy in Japan. I walk in, and I start looking around. I'm looking for a SIM card, so I start asking, and they're like, Nani? So then I'm confused. I'm thinking, how do I get this person to understand? I text my friend who knows more about Japanese than me, and he says, instead of saying SIM card, say Shimu Kado. Okay, that's how you get them to understand. You just say it in the Japanese accent. So I go back and I go inside and I say Shimu Kado wa doko desu ka? And that means where's the SIM card? And immediately she's like, come with me. And I get a SIM card, and finally I start to use it and it still doesn't work. I don't know why. I go to other electronic stores in the Akihabara. The ceilings are so small, if I was a few inches taller, I'd definitely be bonking my head on the goddamn wires and hentai titties. I buy a few keyboards in letters that I don't understand. One thing I noticed, sometimes when they give you your change back, they do it like this. So if you give them a bill, they'll hand it back like that. Or coins, they put it in these little fucking, like, I don't know what, they're like little sponges. And here's something awesome I did. I went to a Japanese private high school. By myself in a trench coat, a black man in a trench coat and beanie in a private high school. I walk in, and right at the start, they stop me at the beginning. And my friend's with me, and he's been to that school as like a transfer student, foreign transfer student for a few months. So he lets them know, hey, I'm just here to visit my friends. They ask who the fuck's the black guy in the trench coat, not saying nothing. I look like Jeff from 21 Jump Street when they're talking to those dudes in that one garage. Eventually, my friend just says, Tomodachi desu, which just means friend. And we walk in because the principal recognized us and he just said, fuck it, dude, there's no crime here. What would a black guy do? I'm sure he's just a tourist. I walk in and my friend starts meeting everybody. Coincidentally, it was lunchtime, so everyone's gathered in this one place wearing uniforms, and I just walk in a fucking trench coat. They're eating food, everyone's staring because they've never seen a black guy before, so it was just the weirdest fucking thing. Everything's super small in Japan, so the tables are really close together. And then when you put chairs in between that and people, there's long corridors that I need to follow my friend through. And me being a massive man, I'm just getting stuck sliding through chairs, following my friend. Eventually, in the hectic fucking lunchroom, my friend goes somewhere and I lose him. And I asked him to, thankfully, there was a Japanese person who spoke English because he's been to America. So he lets me know, he went upstairs. So I look for upstairs, he points to it, and I start going by myself in a Japanese private high school. I walk up these stairs, a tiny Japanese girl walks right beside me, and she looked like she was about to fall over and fucking die on the spot, and I would not have known the number to the Japanese police. I get to the top and I see Japanese bullying at its finest. Two kids chasing a smaller kid down the fucking hallway, and immediately when they catch me in their point of view, they freeze and they're like, holy shit, what am I looking at? Black man in a trench coat, what's going on here? Eventually I find my friends, walk into certain classrooms with them, and of course everyone in those classrooms freezes in the middle of their conversation. I would see a Japanese girl sitting in the classroom, see my friend, and you go, hey guys, and the second I get into the classroom, she literally, hey guys, literally that, and it was like, oh shit, this is really fucking awesome, ain't it? Going to another classroom, one of the Japanese students starts telling me, you guys are better than us, and I didn't know what he meant, and I said, what do you mean? Like, culture-wise? And he was like, no, just better. I didn't go much farther in that conversation than that. Another Japanese student who's the alpha of the class makes a black joke. Eventually, after my friend meets his friends in that school, we eventually leave. Valuable experience, something most people don't get to do. Walking into a Japanese private high school at 270 pounds in a fucking trench coat and as a black man. But goddamn it, I would do it again because that was fucking awesome. Two guys that I met there were pretty cool. One of them was actually kind of a YouTuber. He's really good with cameras. And he was just such a nice guy, and he came on the train with me and everything. What a great guy. I met so many cool people there. Japan is a beautiful place. I went to a garden. It was called, I don't fucking remember. It was just some garden of like a certain emperor, and damn, that bitch was beautiful. It's probably the best sight I've ever seen in my entire life. I don't think anything could top it in the near future. There was these little fish. They're orange in the water, and we're just staring at them for like a good hour. And eventually we start walking away, and then we come back for a second just for one last look, and then the big-ass white version of those orange fish comes out of nowhere, and all the Japanese grandmas go, and them holding their Nokia phones, literally Nokia flip phones, those ones from 2003 in their hands, and they're like, Oki desu, which means big. That's what Oki means. And man, that was fucking awesome. Great place. Going to a couple shoe stores. They had some pretty cool fucking shoes, but they ain't no Yeezys, so I headed out. Got a crepe. The crepes were good. Tokyo, Japan is a great place. I regret not going to other cities though, but it was a great experience for my first time outside of my hometown and flying by myself in a 15-hour flight, which I fucking hate. Go to Japan, but when that toilet starts talking Japanese, definitely shit in the sink. Just definitely, that's what I did. Anyways, please, Jane means goodbye. Jane in Japanese. Good Jane.